streaming now.
I'm tired of eating off of styrofoam. My family can't come in, and I can't go out.
The pandemic is still having a mental and physical impact on people living at long-term care facilities. But there is hope with the new COVID-19 vaccine, which those residents are now receiving. A $900 billion relief package is now a reality. We're taking your questions about the legislation to an expert and getting you answers.
5G structures like this one are popping up in neighborhoods all over central Indiana. I'm Kara Kenny with the new action now underway by homeowners and a state senator.
Cold and quiet across central Indiana and really the Midwest right now, but an active pattern is coming our way when we'll see chances for rain and some snow.
Evening to you here at 6 o'clock and welcome in. I'm Mark Mullins. It's a day some of our neighbors across central Indiana have been waiting for months. Today, CVS Health started administering the COVID-19 vaccine at multiple local long-term care facilities. WRTV's Troy Washington was at Aspen Trace Senior Living in Greenwood and introduces us to a man there who says he's getting the shot because he just wants the chance to keep making memories with his family.
This is my oldest boy.
Okay.
That's my youngest boy.
For Bruce Letch, getting his vaccine means moving one step closer to the way things used to be. In 28 days, residents will get their second dose of the shot to complete their vaccination.
I'm tired of eating off of styrofoam. My family can't come in, and I can't go out.
Before the pandemic,
They had a big birthday party for me, and that's the only time I've seen them all together, and probably the only time I'll ever see them all together, because they came from 10 different states. That's remarkable.
more than a year ago in September for his 90th birthday, relatives from all over celebrated his milestone.
We had pictures taken in the morning. The weather was perfect. They were all here. Pictures were taken in this room. Then I took them all out to dinner. That set me back a little bit.
This September, as he turned 91, he had to hold on to those old memories since visitors weren't allowed to make new ones.
They could look at me through the window in my room, but that's as close as they can get. I'd like to see them in person.
Considering all that is at stake,
4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandsons.
this grandfather, father, and retired teacher says,
I think people ought to get the shot. Absolutely. I can't understand why they would refuse.
he thinks it's the only way he'll get closer to reuniting with his loved ones. Working for you in Greenwood, Troy Washington, WRTV.
As we mentioned, the residents received the Moderna vaccination, which requires a second dose 28 days later, while the Pfizer vaccine requires the follow-up dose to be done after 21 days. Today, the Indiana Department of Health reports 43 additional COVID-19 related deaths. Since the pandemic began in March, 7,539 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. The State Department of Health also confirms 2,494 additional cases of the coronavirus. That means more than 496,000 people in Indiana have been diagnosed with COVID since the pandemic started. As of yesterday, 2,866 Hoosiers were hospitalized either with COVID-19 or symptoms that could turn into a COVID diagnosis. That's an increase over the number of COVID-related hospitalizations on Friday and Saturday. However, that's a lot lower than the numbers the state was seeing back at the end of November and into the beginning of December. Part of the newly signed $900 billion relief package is a second round of stimulus checks to many Americans. WRTV's Nikki Dementri is working for you and answering your questions as she takes a closer look at what that means for Hoosiers.
A sigh of relief indeed for many Americans came Sunday night after the president signed the latest COVID relief bill. We're working for you and took your stimulus check questions to an expert.
The new round's going to work very similarly to the first round of stimulus checks.
Here are the basics. Eligibility of this check is based off of 2019 returns. Full payments of $600 will go to individuals making up to $75,000. Each dependent child, age 17 and under, is eligible for another $600 payment.
Anybody who would qualify for the stimulus payment based on their 2020 tax return when it's being filed. They'll get the money when they file that 2020 tax return.
Diana from Indianapolis asked us, is there any information on the stimulus if you've had a child in the 2020 year? Do they count on taxes or not at all?
So if you have a child in the 2020 year, you're going to fall under the category of someone who will get the stimulus money when you file your 2020 tax return.
As for when Hoosiers can start seeing these checks, Michael Jameson with On Target CPA says that's still unknown. Last week, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said checks could come out as soon as this week, but that was before there was a delay in the bill being signed.
This next question comes from Cindy. She says, I never got my first one, talking about a stimulus check. Probably won't get this one either. She says she's on Social Security disability. For those that didn't see that first round check, will they see the second round check?
I doubt it. What she needs to do is she needs to file an income tax return for 2020.
Jameson says the quickest way to get that stimulus check is through direct deposit. Paper checks could take weeks to be mailed out. Now, Jameson also adds that you should give the IRS adequate time in order to send out all those payments. But he says if it seems everyone else has gotten these checks and you haven't, you should follow up. Working for you, Nikki Dementri, WRTV.
President Trump continues to advocate for larger stimulus checks. A bill expanding the direct payments from $600 to $2,000 has just been voted on by the House. Our Scripps national team reports 218 House members have voted to approve the $2,000 direct payments. The proposal will now move to the U.S. Senate for a vote there. A tax expert we spoke with says if that increase passes, you can either expect one check with the new amount or two checks, the first being the $600 payment and the second the remainder. It is a cloudy and cold evening in central Indiana, but changes are coming. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts is here. Kyle, what are you tracking for us tonight?
Oh, we are tracking a lot of changes, Mark, here over the next several days. So the end of 2020 is going to be fairly active. This time yesterday, we were enjoying the 50s and getting out there with just a lighter coat. Today, certainly need to layer up. Our numbers have basically been cut in half. It's 28 degrees right now in Indy and Bloomington. It's 31 for you in the Lafayette area. And around Indianapolis, we find 27 for you there in Hendricks County and Plainfield and 28 in the Fishers area. We've had the clouds throughout the day today. No precipitation with them. And as we look off to the north and west, we start to see a little bit of clearing that is taking shape. And gradually, we'll start to clear out those clouds a little bit for us tonight. But numbers will hold steady. We're still in the middle and upper 20s here as we get through around 11 o'clock tonight. But as those clouds clear out tomorrow morning, it's going to be a cold one as we start off our Tuesday around 20 degrees, some areas in the teens. We've got some active weather we talked about that will come our way. We'll discuss when that rain and snow will move in.
A state senator is filing legislation this week aimed at giving homeowners more say when it comes to 5G structures in their neighborhoods. It's an issue WRTV Investigates has been following for more than a year. Homeowners say they're blindsided by the technology coming right into their own yards. Our Kara Kenny explains what the bill could mean for you and how you can get involved.
Homeowners who live in North Willow Farms love the green spaces and the trees. What they're not loving are the 5G structures that are going up in their neighborhood. 6 have already been constructed. Another 9 are planned, but homeowners are fighting back. North Willow Farms has nearly 400 homes full of concerned residents. Verizon put up or is planning a total of 15 5G structures.
It does seem excessive, and especially when you consider that there are 3 other carriers or 2 or 3 other carriers that are going to want to put in their own infrastructure.
We first told you about neighbor concerns in North Willow back in May, and homeowners took their worries to state lawmakers, including Senator J.D. Ford.
Some folks see this through a health impact to their family. And so, I've said this before, this is not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is the people's issue. This is what we continually hear from our constituents. And so to not do anything about this in the next session, I think would be derelict of our duties.
Ford invited North Willow Farms homeowners to a news conference to announce the filing of his 5G bill.
I'm deeply concerned by how easy it was for Verizon, a for-profit entity with no government regulation, to use Indianapolis as a test market for 5G and operate as a utility without public oversight whatsoever.
If passed, Ford's bill will give homeowners more say as to where 5G structures are placed and improve the notification process to homeowners. Katie Slugy lives in Meridian Kessler and says she didn't find out about the 5G pole until it was several feet into her yard.
We're given zero prior notice that this would be happening. 17 feet from my youngest child's bed and in the middle of our yard.
These 5G structures are going up because Senate Bill 213 passed the legislature in 2017 and authorized a massive rollout of small cell wireless structures all over the state. Many homeowners are concerned about the impact on property values and potential health impacts.
I worry that the electromagnetic field that the towers emit will become like the radon of yesteryear, something people lived with and didn't know was affecting their health.
CTIA, which represents the wireless industry, says on its website typical exposure to 5G devices, such as small cells attached to phone poles or the sides of buildings, is far below the permissible levels and comparable to Bluetooth devices and baby monitors. Ford's bill isn't a done deal. The bill will likely be assigned to the Senate Utilities Committee, which is chaired by Senator Eric Cook.
We hope that it gets a hearing. We want it to get a hearing.
Homeowners aren't too hopeful about the 5G poles already constructed, but are hoping to have more input as to where thousands of other 5G structures go in our community.
Anything is better than what exists now for Indiana residents.
Neighbors have created a website so that you can follow along on the 5G issue. That website is HoosiersConnected.org. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. We reached out to Verizon for comment, as well as CTIA, which represents the wireless industry. We are still waiting to hear back from them on Senator J.D. Ford's legislation. CTIA's website says building America's 5G network will result in $500 billion in economic growth and 300 million new jobs over the next 5 years. This upcoming weekend, there will be a huge change for people traveling on State Road 37 in Morgan County. That's because starting Saturday, State Road 37 in Martinsville will close for most of 2021. The closure will stretch from State Road 39 on the south end of Martinsville to Morgan Street north of State Road 44. A new access road is open in the area connecting New Harmony Road at Cragen Road with Centennial and Egbert Roads. The detour to get around this is quite lengthy. You'll need to follow State Road 39 through Martinsville to State Road 67 north and then cut back over on State Road 144 near Mooresville.
Our temperature trend looks more like a couple of mountains here over the next several days. We'll talk about when we'll climb into the 50s and just how far those temperatures will fall.
One game to go and their playoff hopes are still up in the air. The Colts need some help in Week 17. Coming up in sports, Brad shows us how it got to this point and what the Colts need to find themselves in the NFL postseason.
Come on, Chad. Whatever it takes.
Welcome back. Indiana's 50th Safe Haven Baby Box is now operational. Today, officials unveiled the baby box at Danville Fire Station 192 on Twin Bridges Road. The box allows a mother to anonymously surrender her newborn and alert officials to care for the baby.
I really don't think it's a matter of if this box gets used. I think it's a matter of when. And it's going to be a glorious day when that baby shows up here.
This is the first Safe Haven baby box installed in Hendricks County, by the way. Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to connect you with available jobs and the education needed to get the career you want. And one way we do that is through the job feed. Indiana Mentor is a home and community-based human services provider. They're seeking direct support professionals who would provide care and support to individuals with disabilities. Schwann's is holding a hiring event on Tuesday, January 5th in Noblesville. The company needs route sales representatives. Pay is $140 a day plus commission. You would also get full benefits and paid time off. We do have a link to the application process in this post on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. You must schedule an interview before the hiring event on January 5th. Hiring Hoosiers partner Spherion can help you find many available jobs in Indiana. We have a link to more information from Spherion in this post on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. You can also find several employment opportunities through our job board on hiringhoosiers.com. With each job posted, we have a link to the application process to make it easy for you.
Not our brightest day, but still not a bad day to get out there and get a little bit of a walk in there. With temperatures manageable, just need to layer up and keep moving to keep warm out there. I do think we'll see a little more in the way of some sunshine here coming our way as we get into the day tomorrow. But we do have an active pattern that's also going to be setting up. And look at these rain chances here Wednesday and Friday. Fairly widespread wet weather coming our way, and over the next 7 days, that could certainly start to add up here. You can see that rainfall outlook basically about 1.25 inches to maybe some rainfall in excess of 2 inches. So we may have some minor flooding issues here as the week goes along. We'll detail more on that here in just a little bit. But we are nice and dry out there, just on the cold side tonight with 28 in downtown. Still have those clouds in Lafayette, 31 for you, and 28 in the Bloomington area. Wind chills that are in the teens to around 20 degrees, and that's about where we'll be for our actual temperature tomorrow morning. Good news is with that temperature of 19 in Logansport, the winds will be fairly calm, so not too much of a wind chill factor out there. 22 in Anderson and Muncie to start off your Tuesday, and we'll find those temperatures in the lower to middle 20s around Martinsville at 24, 21 in the city, and 24 Seymour into the Bedford area early on Tuesday. Again, that will come with some sunshine as we start off the day. But notice how quickly those clouds are going to build right back into the area. And as a result, we pretty much put a lid back on those temperatures. Seasonably chilly here, only making their way into the middle 30s. Shouldn't be as breezy, though. So I think we won't have as much of a chill factor as what we've had throughout our Monday. 38 for the high in Bloomington, 35 in Noblesville, and 35 in the Danville area for you in Hendricks County. So temperatures about where they should be here for the end of December. Not where they should be, though, as we go into Wednesday. Look at that, a big time warm up here. 48 degrees as we head into the afternoon. But you notice a lot of raindrops in that forecast, and that rain could add up to between about 1/2 inch and 1 inch of rain. So that's the first weather system coming our way here for the middle of the week. The second one will come as we head into New Year's Day. But that 7-day planning forecast shows that up and down temperature trend. We cool off again on Thursday at 37. May see a couple of showers there. And then on New Year's Day, that one could bring more rainfall, more widespread 1 inch plus amounts for us. And then temperatures will drop there as we go into the first weekend of 2021. Seasonably chilly with highs in the 30s. Mark?
Kyle, thank you. The Colts have 10 wins this season with 1 game left on their schedule. But after yesterday's loss in Pittsburgh, there's still a chance the Colts don't make the playoffs. So just how do they earn their spot? Brad Brown has a look at the tall hill to climb in Week 17.
Remember all the way back to Week 1? The Colts lost in Jacksonville. Didn't seem like so much at the time other than a rocky start to the season. Well, that game might turn out to play a huge part in keeping the Colts out of the playoffs. Sunday's loss to Pittsburgh has the Colts entering Week 17 on the outside of the AFC playoff picture. Indy's 10-5 record matches 4 other teams in the AFC: Tennessee, Cleveland, Miami, and Baltimore. But all 4 of them hold a tiebreaker over the Colts.
We no longer control our own destiny. But all we can do is take care of our own business. And that means learning from this film, having a good week of practice, and then finishing up the regular season with a great performance. And then hopefully we get some help.
Let's look at all 4 scenarios. The Colts fall behind Cleveland and Baltimore based on head-to-head losses. Indy lost in Cleveland back in Week 5, 32-23. The Browns could have clinched their spot yesterday, but they lost to the Jets. Go figure. As for the Colts and Ravens, again, head-to-head falls out of the Colts' favor. Baltimore won here on November 12th, 24-10. The Ravens lost their next 3 games after that, though, or they also could have clinched by now.
Yeah, I think we got to just, again, our mantra's going to come back into play again, controlling what we control and trying to be 1-0 this week, because whatever happens, they all include us winning. So we got to make sure we take care of our business, and then I have to believe that 11 is going to be enough.
The Dolphins get the edge over the Colts based on conference wins, 7-6. And the Titans get the advantage based on better division record. One glaring defeat for the Colts in both of those setups. That's right, Week 1 at Jacksonville. So the bottom line for this Sunday, the Colts have to win. If they lose, they are done for sure. But on top of a W, they need one of those other 4 teams to lose. Miami plays Buffalo. The Browns get the Steelers, division champs, as opponents for both. So maybe, but maybe is not something you want to ride your whole season on for one final game.
you think about all the scenarios. I mean, what could happen? But I mean, you think you have 11 wins. That's it's pretty crazy to think a team with 11 wins gonna be sitting at the house. So we just hopefully we can do what we can do to find a way to get in. Hopefully we can get in and do make some damage, I guess.
Only twice in NFL history has a team won 11 games and missed the playoffs, but it's looking a lot like at least one of the 5 teams in the chase this weekend will be joining that group. Here's an added wrinkle for the Colts. If they win on Sunday and the Titans lose, Indy clinches the AFC South Division title. They'll get a home game for the wild card round of the playoffs against one of the teams trying to eliminate them this weekend. The Colts and Titans, both games will kick off at 4:25 on Sunday. Certainly everyone keeping an eye on the scoreboard as well. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
More honors coming in for the IU football team. The Associated Press has named wide receiver Ty Freifogel and linebacker Micah McFadden as third-team All-Americans. Freifogel has caught 34 passes for 687 yards and 7 touchdowns during the shortened season. The Hoosiers have played 7 games. McFadden has 52 tackles, 5 sacks, and 1 interception on the season. Congrats now to Freifogel and McFadden on this amazing honor. The IU football team is 6-1 on the season and is headed to the Outback Bowl in Tampa, Florida, which you can watch right here on WRTV. The Hoosiers are set to face Ole Miss out of the SEC. Kickoff is set for this Saturday at 12:30 p.m. And again, WRTV is the only place you can watch the game on TV.